Yeah, where the kind enya ntiano sister Hannah ewo hanamo. Mema happy Sabbath biem.
Happy day.
Na oho ye de.
Nyame adom.
Ye de nyankopon ase. Ebeto me ma de so say ye ni unya interview nye ne. Na da bia da ben na oba da ben na oba. De ye nim ene say wo ye djuma ewo kolebu wo wankasa wenjio and I feel so Obibeka say occupational health and safety consultants any who feel that nkasa ye be mupa na say if na kwa sorry.
Okay, so me kwa sorry o Barakel 7-day Adventist Church.
Okay, oko Barakel and yeah what can bro for pa.
So I want to say a very special happy Sabbath to all my church mates at Barakel who are listening.
Barakel ba ko na tie chire ho no. Ebusia kai say program if you am upon and ashishe the first time odi obi fi ni church abanie ye da say wama in this special guest unyi no net sen kan wabrabo mu asem che yen kakra ehfa na wo free ehfa na unyi ye na edwadru baby wadru.
Okay, so me free in Kranza Ekuma.
When you are krum.
But I lived my life in Sunyani. Into me mama and papa no money now Sunyani.
Okay.
Fortunately for me, parents too they were Adventists.
Right.
Until I grew up in an Adventist home.
Okay.
But I am the 11th of 11 children.
Whoa.
Until I had a very big family. Until my growing up, it wasn't with so much difficulty because then I had a very large family to support me. Until I also made school Sunyani. I mean all through until after secondary school when I had to continue. I'm about Accra to University of Ghana. But my father left me when I was about writing my BEC exam at that time.
Okay, so papa eja oho na what you say?
Oh, sorry. So that's very good also to ask. He died.
Okay.
Yeah. So we lost our father in the year 1999.
Yeah.
But because, I mean, it was a very large family, who could support me. So really, I did not feel that, but it was all the support. I think that I was fortunate. Because I'm fortunate. I mean, in my growing up. But all through, I was determined. So you said I have an NGO. Maybe NGO and after secondary school.
Whoa.
And I looked at the issue, business. Okay. So I'm a business student from secondary school. But me share the community now. I saw that there were a lot of challenges with the youth.
Yeah.
Until one day, me sorry, and I say me call the then assembly, the district assembly. To me call and I mean, and when me call I say, well, somebody my car, any driver, I can go to the villages. I hope you will pardon me. I can go to the villages. Not my name. Youth na akwa kasa. Yenyom kokasa. Me konyom kokasa for imprewanin saying how to be focused and then study and go to school and also to empower them.
Yeah.
But at that time I was lucky. To me call ministry the assembly no. Now I'm catching me say, well, if you can put together, so wait to me about now for 5 beer.
Yeah.
You can register a community-based organization because that time na Ghana AIDS Commission. That time na HIV, the advocacy was very high. Yes. So they wanted people to advocate and they liked the spirit that me and Pastor Maba said, I wanted to do something. And I said, well, then you can even get the funding to do whatever you wanted to do. You see, my name is now for 4. I mean, they were all Adventists, fortunately, because of Adventist Youth Society.
Yeah.
And see, all the people I put together were Adventist Youth Society members. Until we registered with our assembly as a community-based organization. Yeah. So at that time, we were called AIDS Fighters Club. Because also the focus was on HIV/AIDS. So then we had the opportunity to go to the communities to do all that I wanted to do. But after that, and I'm about university.
Yeah.
And then I was leaving Sunyani to Accra. I mean, if you have anything, that the passion you put in is not like the people who also want to join. You have to be there to inspire the spirit all the time. The activities bar from Accra.
Okay.
And I'm about university. So I also decided that I will not go back. Wow. I wanted to develop my life in Accra. It lingered for some time until about some few years back. But when I was in university, that was when I also decided to register it as an NGO so that we could expand what we do.
Okay.
I registered it as an NGO. We had our certification and everything. But we needed funding. At that time, we could school. I didn't have money. But always a little that we could do, we would do. Also as Adventist Youth Society. activities in the community, in the church. We tried also to empower people in the community.
Okay.
And then from there, we were fortunate. In these few years, we have been fortunate to work with the Ministry of Gender and Social Protection, more of social protection on the LEAP program. It's also about community empowerment, helping the women and the vulnerable, access fund and all that. And UNICEF has also supported us, especially in this COVID era. So we also did a lot of sensitization and community education on that.
Yep. No one wants you. Bokasano can AY wansem pa na chese usano onena mima inti nyina no na o join AY pa eboa wo ewo ahyase anu yie ewo kwan bi so na watimi afa so de etu awofo a omo encourage omo ma ema omo kwa sorry activity etisa no omo fa omo ho enhyem no se wo foto bi e de ma awofo a ode wo life no ene sede ode ho hyemu ema eboa wo abedo sabre no sede esi aboa no betumi e de ama awofo bi no mu afutuo ewo sorry activities etisa no.
I think for me, that was the foundation. Adventist Youth Society. And then they prepared me because at that time, I tell you, my mother and my father, they were all Seventh-day Adventists. You will not get the opportunity to go into the community, as in doing other things in the community. If we are youth now, per se, we develop it was more of the Adventist Youth Society where we share and to say, wow, you share the same ideas, you have the same passion and all that. And it was also challenging. I mean, because of quite they challenge you when they have put you on.
Yeah.
For instance, Children's Day, you have to do something. And see, it was that level that builds the confidence in us. And then it also at that level starts to even make you innovative. Because you are always thinking, what can we do? Okay, they give it to you, even though you were leaders, no. On my mom said, "Mom, planet Children's Day, then I'm obey. What can you also do?" You have the first time as a child. Like I came with my daughter, like at her age, have to be saying your memory verse and all that. And see, it starts building the confidence from there. And see, even for me, my daughter, I've sewn the Adventist Youth Society, the dress for her. It's really important, especially for Adventists. We don't get the opportunity so much to mingle with the community because we also want to control the lifestyle and the impact society has for us. And see, what I was saying is that I will for Moma and these activities. It's very important. They should give time for them. Even sometimes it's Sunday, late afternoon, practice it. It all helps. Yes. It's very important. But the challenge is also when you move to Accra. It becomes very limiting. Not as in Free Sunyani, Kumasi, where there's so much time, our parents have time, and there's no so much traffic.
Obi Beka say, what drew baby, what drew because na we are fortunate. Na kakra so wofie na kakra wofie na aboa mu aduru sabre ebia eno na wanya odeti ho no mo a ne nyame aboa mu aduru bia wadu ya ebia wo kasa sei but me so a me ti ha no me bia hwe ni fie ni emobrofo nti ebia wo no wanya wasem a wo kan san se wo de efie a ofi mu no na mu ye nti na ne wadu bia waduru no.
I won't accept say na me fie yes sir. Remember, I said to me, the 11 born of 11 children. And see, even though my father, he was a teacher and then moved to be an educationalist in an office, my mother was a petty trader. We were 11 children that they had to take care of. So there were competition. And because I was the last, I think that was my advantage. Because I saw that I had to compete to get some of the resource. So I won't say that everybody in my family is that comfortable. When I look at myself, I thank God I'm fortunate. If I had not also put in effort and come in, baby, I'm no. And it is not my doing. Maybe as the conversation goes on, it is God. I had the basic support. I mean, here be a fee. We ain't me and family because I mean, we want penny for winning. But it is also God who will also give you. You have the passion, but Nyanko won't push you out. You cannot get there.
Minim so parents, Adventists, omumi yenu nyina ne ma obeye kwahweni. And then important. And a ma at a point one kasa ojitu mu kire se SD sorry no afei de me amagia to mama kwan yemu mesu e ma oye convince sorry no beko.
Okay, so how I got baptized is a very interesting story. Me was at quite a tender age for me. I think me was at the age of 12 or 13 years. Because the children, I think something happened in the children's class I didn't like.
Okay.
At 12 years. So I decided that then I will not go to that class again. I will go to baptismal class and study for baptism so that I move from the children's class. And so that was how I got baptized.
Yeah.
And so for me also, I think that then that preparation did not help me because I think I did not take my time. So I had to go through some life experiences to have an encounter with Christ.
Wow.
And what I want to say is that the problem, what I see, and when I look at myself, there could be a huge problem being born as an Adventist. If you do not take care, you believe in your parents' faith.
Oh, okay.
Because you're Adventist, papa you're Adventist. Nobody will allow you not to leave or not to go to church on a Saturday. And see, sometimes we grow up like that and we are going to church because you're weird too.
Right.
And most of the time, we do not even take our time to study the church's principles. As Abia Obia Unyini to a certain level who understood the church and decided that I want to be baptized. See, that is a problem.
Yep.
And I think we should look at it, especially Adventist parents.
Yep.
Not that they may do all the time, but why really we have to be in that church. For me, my father was that man at 4:30. Obia morning devotion, Sabbath school. And sometimes we didn't like it.
Yeah.
Because that time's and all that. But I think that it all contributed a bit to it. So you look back now when you are experiencing anything and you see how it has also helped to shape your life. It's important that parents, we take time. If we have the faith, we need to educate our children about the faith, especially also the female.
Yep.
But I have also encountered a lot of men who will say that, oh, my core sorry be down, but I left. Why? They were born into it, but they did not get the real meaning, the real understanding of the doctrines, why they should be 7-day Adventists. And so it's a challenge for us now. We are trying to start family. No, also to let them be grounded in the faith.
Wow. Where Adventist church no more problems when I me identify with the women teach you. I war sorry no more. Meaning say would when you to form one career development and school and where also sorry you find your matters are serious.
I think that in recent times try.
Okay.
But there's a lot to be done. The associations like Adventist Youth Society, and I was a very active member also in NAS. So in my time in Legon, I think I was a deputy national coordinating secretary for NAS. So these are all things that also built me up.
Okay.
I mean, becoming who I have become. But most of the time, when we go for these things, attention is very diverse. Will be because some friends I hadn't seen in the whole year, youth camp, NAS Congress, they will meet and all. Even though there are very nice programs that are planned. But I think we should focus more also on career development, self-development. Again, so it's not just the gospel. Because I need to be empowered to also even propagate the gospel. Into watch me, I know all the things in the Bible, but I am not well educated. I have no voice. So how do I even tell? How do I spread that faith? And so for the women in the church, I think even in my church, now you discuss it. I'm just wondering why, when it comes to the Adventist doctrine and all that, as a man need more than the women. When it comes to programs that we need to contribute, it looks like a man is contributing more than the women. Then I also look at the level there, or probably because, and that's the point I made, that probably because in the church, women were not allowed to do much previously. Because in an Adventist church, a woman cannot be a pastor. So you will support. So all the time, the women were at the back saying, okay, we'll support the men. See, in the church, we'll clean the church, we'll arrange the place and all that, but then the men should lead. I think it's also quite in the Old Testament how women probably were supposed to be. But I think that now is the time because we need to empower the women. Remember that if you educate a woman, you have educated a whole nation. It is very important for us to do that, to empower our women, to build in them that confidence, and then try to have some women workshop and all that. Will bring renowned women, even if they are not Adventists, to also help empower us and show us the career pathways.
And then I'll call you Legon.
Well, in Legon, I studied nursing and psychology. Remember, I told you that I have a business background. But that time, the problem also was, if we had the opportunity, after secondary school or university, what course are you going to do? How do you choose your courses? For us who were born into an Adventist church and home, that opportunity would have helped if AY meetings like this, we had somebody to come and tell us, okay, in the university, those who have been there before, Legon, this is it, this is that. So for me, when I was going to Legon, I chose Legon. I bought forms for UCC BCom. But in Legon, I didn't know how their courses were. So I wanted to do admin. I didn't get admin. And then so I had psychology. No, level 100, it was interesting. I had archaeology, history, religion, and dance. So I was very angry with those combinations because I was like, what am I going to do with these? But I didn't get BCom in UCC until I decided to call Legon. But at that time, we're lucky. Moving from level 100 to 200, if you had a good grade points, you could go for nursing or admin and then social work. So it was that time that I applied for nursing and I had. Okay. So I graduated from Legon with BA in nursing and psychology.
Wow.
Okay. So my work in Kolebu, I actually started my profession as a nurse tutor. Into me really go na ministry they make us Sankrego. I don't know if you know the.
Yeah,
at that time, as a very young girl, it was so far. I was wondering. Yeah. The first time I went, I was asking, I said, "Mu yesho say Kangana," because I traveled the whole day. And see, I stayed there for almost 2 years. I was teaching health assistant students, but nursing is practical. And to me, one day strike me that no, I cannot be doing this. I haven't practiced the profession. And I cannot be imparting. So that was when I came to Accra, and then I applied for Kolebu. Fortunately for me, I had it, and then I was posted to the National Cardiothoracic Center intensive care unit. And see, I did intensive care nurse, and so there what we do is that akuma operation, and I will be a critically ill or akuma na ne lungs and bibiano. A operation we are now saying it's critically ill. So that is where we give all the critical care until they are stable, and then we get to
any member baby so any na say what near my pie and crofo or more for year muniati maybe so or personal experience bibia esiama apem wo say nyame wo tumi na nyame tumi ade nyina yem na one kasa so personal experience bia esi wo brem na sesi ide ma me nkwa homa no so na me nkofa uni Mr. Samoboatin.
Yes.
Yeah. Only no school Legon no.
Samo was 2 years or so ahead of me in Legon.
Oh, okay.
But he became my very good friend. In fact, Legon. Me Hannah Adjei baby.
Okay, mommy.
But currently, me name is on the sorry.
Okay. Wow, mommy has said me no home no so. Mr. Boatin, memo happy Sabbath. I'm say o nyama line so ye be hwese ye benya no wa homa no so na fe ye ne no atwetwe enkomo ye hwese ye nsabeka Mr. Samoboatin okwasere Barakel sesi na oye Sister Hannah Adam for pam afen no join live online na abusuya ye nua ba Hannah Adjei Mensah oye adwuma wo Kolebu occupational health and safety consultant ena yene no etwetwe enkomoi na mebisa wadwuma oye wo Kolebu no na wo kan cardiothoracic center yede o ekoto honom no akoma ho asem de ye eduru ba bi a ehu kakra menim se wenya experience bia obetumi ni a che ewo bia wo ye adwuma na ebetumi a hye nkran ne se nyame ayesom no ho.
There's a lot. It's a lot because Wakuma they hold you. Once you lose your heart, unless you get another one, so a replacement, a transplant. Other than that, then there is no life in you.
And also,
and see, well, most of the people that come for heart surgery and cry, there's a defect. And now, as they grow, they also get problems with their heart. But God is good.
Yeah.
Most of the time, the nursing staff that work in the units, when we go to work, we pray in the morning. Because you don't know how it's going to be. The situations can change.
Waba my Mr. Samoboatin. Yama happy Sabbath.
Yeah, good morning, happy Sabbath.
Na apomwe
you ho anadum.
Ye de nyame say ye ne Sister Hannah ne wo studio Hannah na ye bisa mu no na ye je say wunnim no kakra ne ho adanse e ben na obedi e de akere.
Me mamu na happy Sabbath. Hannah, happy Sabbath to you.
Happy Sabbath, Sammy.
Yeah, Hannah, it's a long story. Hannah is getting to 19 years now.
Wow.
We met in the University of Ghana campuses. And Hannah is a special person. For me, she's that woman of substance. And yes, be a maker, but very determined person. Somebody who would want to go for whatever she desires, whatever she feels like, this is right for me. That is what she normally would want to go. And she perseveres. Or be very hard working. She's very, very up. And apart from that, it's amazing how she would want campus Mekai. There were times she or Baba became a young queen. Sorry, I was a no pressure, and I have to be running to the TV room.
Wow.
Because she wants us to go to church, So for her, Hannah is an amazing person. It's so special. I don't know how I didn't even settle my life with her. That is another issue altogether. It's God's plan. And she said, "Netofa bomuno, ni American say, oyobia nemi wofem." And she's outspoken. That is one thing about her. Say pebibia obeka jo say me the way mempe. And that is that strong will that I love so much about her. Okay. And so for Hannah, religiously, open especially our hymns, Seventh-day Adventist hymns, open a couple of occasions, also young group. Recently, she has been on me. Say, you form me, quartet. Now you turn and all that. So, for me, she's an amazing person, a very religious woman. She has become even stronger, even now, when I see her and interact with her.
Amen.
We are lucky. The church is fortunate to have such women within our confines, and it's a blessing to us.
Mr. Samuel Boatin, Yensu Dasi Bebresa no pay, Wabeka Yeho.
Happy Sabbath.
Happy Sabbath. Any ayeti Mr. Samuel Boatin, quite sorry, El Barakel, and one name Sister Hannah so El University of Ghana. Engrofo edi ho dance ye one year no one can say before be ye ba program so nyina ka say when ye den kakra na opese ade bia opese wo ye bia no edru ba bia ya na say bibia mu wabem, that kind of person. Why what get to the point say opese wo ye bibisa na we be ka say oba kuku ni oba de, that kind of comment ye di bu ema bemu no. Why encounter be pain so kwan ben so na old be share a mouth for in crying said on bet me a persevere e will be on person moyem.
Okay, so I think that was a turning point in my life.
Okay.
There are some people that they cannot take your spirit, or they cannot take blessing and yankopon their amount. I don't think that you have to come down to their level. So yesterday I was listening to one of the international pastors who said that don't sacrifice your calling for your comfort.
Okay.
So I have one child, their father and I are not together. And I think it's some of these things that you are a woman who want to stand on the grounds when you think it's right. But there are people who would not accept that. There are people who are very traditional and think that this is the woman's space, or badly, this is the space you should be. Well, you learn some lessons from it. But as I said, and I prayed, that was also the time that made me pray a lot, because then I needed God to direct me. And I think my life at that point was also impacted by one sermon that I listened to by Pastor Ewu one Sunday, when he said, who is at the center of your life? So that sermon was a turnaround for me, because then that was a time that I sat down to think, if it is Christ at the center, then let Christ decide. And he will direct you. And see, it's not like when you're doing, say, either if not right or wrong, you go for it. But when you're doing because you think this is my calling and I must go for it. When you're doing because you think that there's something that must be done and you are the one who's supposed to do it. And see, now I run what we call the employee assistant program. and I had to go to South Africa to study that myself to come back.
Okay.
I offer service to some corporate organizations. And I'm trying to set it up also in Korle Bu. Thankfully to the management of Korle Bu, they are so supportive of that. They want it. I would just want to tell a little bit about that.
Okay.
And so that program is for people who are working but are having issues. You know, we are human beings. We have emotional issues. We have psychological issues that can impact your life. You cannot sit here and work and concentrate and talk to me like that. But most of the time, you be a so we think that what we idea. I mean, through all the troubles away, never true. So that's when we have people who give excuses. Not because of one yet, but there are issues that are bothering you. And now what bedroom cry every now you mistake. The questions that you have to ask me are asking the wrong questions. Why? Because there's an underlying problem. So that is the passion that I'm driving now.
Right.
And I thank God that I have the support from Korle Bu management to move it. And then personally, I also offer this service to a lot of corporate organizations because so many people are troubled. And for me, it's a calling. I see it as a ministry because when you help people go through their challenges, their emotional, people are going through divorce, problem. But sometimes a divorce must happen. But how do you move on from that point? So I see it as a calling because then that also, when you get the opportunity to share your personal experience, to show them what God has done and what God is doing. And for Adventist women, I would ask that we pray more.
Okay.
Because my life now is a testimony because of prayers and what God has done for me and the divine connection that comes with it, the divine opportunities that come with it, that when you meet management and CEOs, they are ready to accept you, not because of what you know or what you present, but because before you even moved out, open the doors for me.
Right.
And it is wonderful how God does it. For my life today always is a testimony on prayers, and it's the only way. How do we talk to our Father? How do we talk to someone? He's not here. It is through prayers.
Right. Maminfa, if you are Ahumano, so if you are happy Sabbath.
Happy day.
Na uhuye de. Yede nyame ase. Minim se Sister Hannah eye onyanko pa free enkwalabre mu edi bedru sabre. Ni ho dance be na be dia chwe.
Oh, happy Sabbath. Many are the no pede many are the one the binding empire but ani kono e hwa na oko. Many are the among. Yede nyame ase ma Hannah life. Hannah you dia opinion me from Hannah is a good girl. Say ube no problem base here na to be ya customer. Bam tenas and power you good. Me to me can't same the base and to me can't have no voice for my or your support is so Hannah in the year. Oh, Hannah is good. Good Hannah makes me a coming work in the America, but the America saying
no.
Yeah, me the video now. Maybe more than this from Hannah. Or better president too. Maybe America saying no.
Yes, who be the president?
It's Papa. The special assistant. Maybe America saying then I'm just saying Hannah saying. Oh, you be on the scene and so they are on 10 minutes. Say Hannah there. Yamidi, you can say Yamin Shano for a good girl. Yeah, yes, or buy there. I mean, the member crap oil and Hannah petrol, you know. Yamidi need the one that they're gonna come up in now. When you say Yamida Yaman.
Amen.
Amen.
Ye da sibe bre ebusian fo ni ayeti ye Sister Hannah. Ne nyanko pa ye friend no efia ana efua ena ye ne no etwetwe enkomo no. Obi ase Sister Hannah, you good. Sister Hannah, a good girl. Na obi baby say, we that religious, we that good girl said ye obi kano. Nipa etis also you mentioned say one obano papa any hobiem now the example issues are ofemo. Nipa etis also enya issues sir.
So it's
said ye enkrofo di ho dance or how it is our course nipa so nipa what is also.
Well, I think that's the point that I made, that there are some people even in marriage, it's about also compatibility and all that. But there are people who can take your spirit, who can take your blessing, your energy, but there are others who cannot. And so the way they are saying is many, well, not that many gidi, but because I want to stand for what my rights, like that. And see, this is not right. I think that this is how it should go. And I think that this is a time for women to stand up. You cannot say that, okay, when it is not okay with you. Remember, for me, I am championing emotional and psychological health.
Right.
A lot of people. So I give you an example from Kolebu, the cardiothoracic center. We had one patient who came in with very high blood pressures.
Okay.
And for medical persons, but blood pressures were not coming down. Why? So it was during one night duty. Because during it's a night duty, they are long hours. You get the chance to talk to your patients and all that. When the patient confounded in me and then spoke out, and when it's not working because deep within me there's a problem that I don't think it's a drew, because then she took me through her domestic issues.
Wow.
So it was after we had spoken to her, gotten a psychologist to psych her, like magic.
Wow.
Then all the parameters, she could have died. So there are things that if it cannot work, don't force it. But if my friends are saying, so in Papa and all that, I don't think that it's. I came out like that. You have to go through some experiences to say that no, now this is the time to turn. And I think that I also went through that. Well, basa, dear, but I mean, growing up, you make some mistakes and all that. But I think that when also the calling of God is on you, no matter how you run, He'll call you. So I tell my friends that until I had my experiences, Saturday, I wear my high heels and put on my face powders and makeup and all that and go to church. I'm going to church because also I said, if you are born in the church and not careful, you'll be living your parents' faith. I go to church because, well, I was born into the Adventist church, 11 children. It's so beautiful when we go to church on Saturday, when we come home and Sabbath afternoon, we are eating and talking and nobody's doing anything. On Sundays, we'll go to farm, so we love Saturdays. And Saturdays, we love it that we wanted it to stay forever. Because Sunday, how much Papa was kind of...
don't go.
And see, it was through the experiences that brought me here. But I just want to also tell people that you make mistakes. We all make mistakes. What is important is that you don't stay there. Say, okay, and see, I mean, for me, at a point when I even wanted to get baptized, my local church, I went to them that I want to get baptized. Okay, I'm saying we cannot baptize you. I said, this is my faith, my relationship with God. And I thank Pastor Champon. When I discussed that I wanted him to baptize me, he immediately baptized, and he has contributed to my turnaround. And every time I thank him.
Wow.
And really, when God, for people who are also troubled, they shouldn't be. Some people are wondering, they don't know. As an Adventist, there was a time that I really wanted to talk to God. But you see, if you look at the charismatic churches, a lot of, you can go for prayers, and all that. But you don't see so much of it in the Adventist church. So then I was praying to God, God, I need a certain kind of relationship with you. And I think it's through prayers that I need people to intercede for me. So I thank people like Pastor Chum, who want us to pray. I thank people like Elder Nimpong, who will make me pray and who will assure me. And he has actually contributed to my turnaround. And that is why, for me, I think that prayer answers all things. It can turn you no matter what. So even if you're an Adventist who is wondering, one day, we are 7-day Adventists, but your heart is still with the church. Your heart is still with God. He will locate you.
Sambra.
He will locate you.
Make an attempt.
Yes.
One kasabra. Ma mefa obi wo wadwuma mu emra ye friend no parts or your nest ewo wadwuma mu. Me ko ba maybe sa question yes ya nest fo mu ade. Na waka ho asem e de akyerɛ part mema akwaba. Na ohuye de ye de nyame ase ye ne sister Hannah ene wo studio hanomo SDA for oye professional and ye yine si wono aye celebrate no wiase afana nyina na ye bisa mu no ano na kyese one ewo adwuma mu nti ye pese ebisa ne ho asem kakra kye ye ne ho asem adanse be na obedi a kye
I'm say I like her voice so much. In but I'm happy. Sister Hannah, I've been here for like 2 years now. I work in public health department. I be there Jumano. I championing EAP employee assistance program.
Okay.
I am new in the system. I feel na what shall year. But the passion I work for Jumano, a core in impa. And now intelligence super on Nimu like she has learned about it on Nimu and she's trying to push it through, even though it's new. But Wamak very I think they organize programs, do our Zoom meetings. Now you team was them, the team was say you nim faho. Said they are. If they roll out Kestia, people will be involved. If they boss staff, sound mind, they are Juma for Kolibu. A very interesting program all year. The bottom of super like the Juma all year, a year fine, a year good.
Yeah, they are say.
She's so nice, so intelligent, a very affable person to work with, pleasant person. It's nothing.
Wow. Next part, yeah, that's it, baby. Yame ensure any ayeti sister Pat or your nurse ewo kolebu yadana sibebre. You see a nurse for mumwade, muhini bomb. It say obi anka nche mu amede me ka de wo ebi amonte ba ye de okromu yeti no say sana moti na eye dan na obi a wote sa atmi Kristo ni mapama na ye.
Okay, so I will not accept that general conception about nurses.
Mate.
What it is that, and that is also, I mean, the reasons why I am even championing this employee assistance program.
Right.
Because sometimes the person you might come into contact with, will issue be as she's not able to deal with it well, and she doesn't know when to drop it and care for the patient. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes it's also about the workload.
Yep.
Sometimes a personal attitude. Mm-hmm. And see, a individual na kasa wa encounter no, and na ni subain bi. But most of the time, it's the underlying problems. Mm-hmm. Because obi owa owo issue fie. Or bano ebia ebufo bi ewo fie no wantimi ehun say she needs to drop it somewhere and continue with it. And I say ebia normal ohia so de be ye adwuma ni mpo no. Then some kind of she's already stressed or the work is too much for her. Though it is no excuse, I think it is also changing. Even me.
Yep.
When I was growing up, I didn't like going to the hospital at all. Mm-hmm. Because me catch mom say me call hospital and nurse no betia me.
Yeah.
Obe o me pandinti benko. So when my life there was that turnaround from business to nursing and all that. I was like, okay, maybe God wants to use me to also impart and to change. So being in the health industry, that is also what we have been trying to do. So we do a lot of also customer training for the nurses and other healthcare professionals. Because also the training, you see, nursing, they say that it originated from the military. And so I say, do before complain.
Right.
So you have to do. So when the patient is kind of not complying, then they get kind of irritated. But it shouldn't be. I'm not here to justify. We are trying to correct it. And I think that programs like the employee assistance program, just what Sister Pat said also, are coming to take off, so that if you think that the load is too much and you cannot be with the patient, then you see the resource. You can talk to a psychologist, if it's a pastor you want to talk to, if it's a lawyer, if it's a financial coach, or the experts. I think that with time it will change, but it needed to start from somewhere. And I think that it has started, it's changing.
Okay.
But now I don't practice nursing, I do public health and then occupational health.
All right. Now, so you're nurse.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's it, very say, and now by minimum say, did you want more? Yan ti ho asem obepese obeka ho asem a chance na dey nkomo twetwe no abewe ya.
I just want to say that I'm very grateful. I mean, I am highly honored to be on this platform, and I thank all the listeners who are also listening and all the people who have given good testimony about me. I think that, well, there are my other parts that I need to develop, and so just as they have all contributed in making me, they should continue to also hit me when I'm going wrong.
Right.
And then I know that we should keep the faith. We don't know. Well, I cannot leave here without talking about coronavirus.
Oh.
So let me just take the opportunity also to advise the Adventist community, especially. Coronavirus is still here. It's still with us. I mean, we are even experiencing the second wave of it, which is hitting us quite hard. Even in the health institutions, we are even having our staffs who are testing positive. People who are thinking that it's gone, especially when you're quite sorry, we think that, we can take off our mask. And that is what is also spreading the virus. Right. Because we think that, minim so we minim no menina enti metimi ayi me mask metimi akọ again no metimi achia no ti me srema mama yen very straight with keeping the protocols. Let's wash our hands, keep our face mask on from time to time. Let us also sanitize. And then in the church environment, let's make sure that we are also disinfecting from time to time. And if we need to limit some of the activities, let us do that. We want to, yes, push the kingdom business, but we cannot do that when we have lost our lives. It's very important.
Yeah, that's very Nyame insurance and Oba Adwumadi so.
Nyame insurance also for the opportunity.
Ebusian for any yen sister Hannah enne yene no etwetwe enkomo we adwuma ewo Kolebu aban aya sabia we occupational health and safety consultants ena yene no etwetwe enkomo no ebre mamu amyentimi mami ye pacho mami fa final question about occupational health emra Ghana sa enioma ne fa ne serious pa se ye ko ye dwumemu enioma ewo se ye tutu ne ye ma ye tuminya bambo we enwumemu na ye ntoto ne ma ase basa no mc ekrom ha no mo de sa ne ma no ye fa ne serious pa.
So the nation has delayed because as at now we do not have the occupational health and safety bill. Most of the time the local organizations, government organizations, strictly does not adhere to. But I had the opportunity to work with one of the mining companies, and that was also where I had my passion to go into occupational health and safety. Because then, as a nurse on duty, one night, one of the workers came with me with somebody's stamp on ice. Or Jumanani colleague operating machine, one shine inside the hole. It was starting machine now, a chat Nico Chromotino. And at least in the mines, we also show them how to do the first aid and all that. So didn't send it to ice, so no bury me and I journal in the clinic.
Wow.
So immediately we had to arrange for the helicopter to lift them to a hospital and then see. So finally, I think he ended up at Komfuanochi. But they could not fix that.
Wow.
So that was where I also had but in the mines, occupational health and safety is like key. If you don't, you cannot enter.
Wow.
So somebody's negligence or because he did not check harmed someone. So that was what drove my passion for it. But it's unfortunate. Well, Kolebu, we also have our bill, our safety and whatever, I say policy that we work with. But we don't see it more. So it is something that is now coming up, especially in the government and public organizations. But as I said, as a nation, we have failed because the bill has been in parliament for so long. It hasn't been signed. So maybe I can also use this platform to advocate for people in government to also get it signed so that workers can be protected. I have been saying it, but I don't think I have given it that thought. But jokingly, I say that, well, I might be your first female president, but it's jokingly.
What political party, man?
So I have friends on both sides. I'm in the two major parties. So I sometimes I do not even vote because I don't want to betray friends and all that. So really, I am not a strong member of any of them.
Okay. And ube join me party no. Me da si bebre. Ebusian for yene sister Hannah ena etwetwe enkomo my job his work dwumadie eso nyame adoma homeda ye happy sabbath from ebesomo sister Hannah Adjei Mensah we juma ewo Kolebu abaya sabia okwasori so ewo Barakel Seventh Adventist Church elder fifi amopon so hona okwasori wono no ye executive producer ede massage media wono eno hyehyɛ programming ede ehon questions nyina eka ho ede mamie ena Philip ni precious adaromenti ena ohwe live online abrochire for no mehu more questions na bebre na so yembre no aso yentimi enkenkan mo fagesi wo Amsterdam ene Unim no.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Abroche phone. What's an abroche kakra?
So I did my public health in Holland, in Amsterdam. So I'm
okay, Intina.
It's my greetings to all the church members in Amsterdam. Also, I miss you so much.
Okay, somebody questions be brain abasobo be brain but now so brain unti yentimi emfa. Yeah, that's be brain send obai nyame ensure be brain. Yeah, that's